What's up, y'all? It's Jacko's Go. You know you don't. I'm going to be doing some random Clover things where I just pick out a random chapter from a number generator, and that's the one I'm going to review. And today we're going to start with chapter 39, The Mirror Mage. This is where we first really dive into who Gauche really is. And I really love how this starts out because he's sitting on a mountain of mages that he's defeated. They're not dead yet, but he does bring about a part of the story that isn't quite fleshed out, but is always alluded to, which is the darker side and the more realistic side of being a magic knight in this world, which is going on missions and really you're going out to kill other people. Now, these guys aren't quite dead yet. This is not just a Gauche chapter, but it's also a Marie chapter. In this chapter, it's Marie's birthday, and one of the only real occasions Gauche gets to see her and spend time with her. So he's telling them that they've got to wish her a happy birthday if they want to live, but then he's saying, well, you're going to die anyway, essentially. So kind of a brutal lifestyle, and you see that he's so used to it. He's so steeped in this lifestyle. It's just second nature. It's just war. Death is kind of second nature. So really just cool part of this, and he kind of makes light of it, but realistically, this is pretty dark and not something we always think about when we read the series. So then it cuts to this panel of just the town that Marie is in, and it has a black rooster like wind compass. I forget what those are actually called, but I thought this is a really intentional placement just because there's no other marker on this particular panel as dignified as that is. And when you look into the mythology of Black Rooster, you'll have cultures pop up, multiple cultures, but mainly the ones you want to stick to when you're talking about Black Clover are Greek, Roman, and anything esoteric, maybe Celtic or Norse. And with the Black Rooster, specifically, you'll find that you can trace this to Greek and Roman lore, most specifically. And these are attributed to the gods of war. So for the Greeks, this is Ares, and this is a symbol of protection, war. And they would sacrifice a black rooster to Ares in order to have this protection over the town. So I thought this is a really interesting little inserted part of this panel. I wouldn't say it quite has to do with Gauche specifically, but it could, and I'm not really looking into it that as deep as I should. Anyway, Asta's already at this orphanage, and he's with Rachel's like siblings that are there, and Marie is also in the same orphanage, so or in the same church. So he sees that he's playing with Marie and the other kids, and he gets mad. He starts torturing Asta. And I like this interaction because there's one thing I never realized. I'm not quite sure why, but Gauche calls Asta Pasta, which is, you know, it's a low-hanging fruit as far as jokes on a name goes, right, for Asta. But Asta goes and mistakes Gauche's name for Mr. Gonzalez, which I found hilarious. And I'm tempted to just call Gauche Mr. Gonzalez for like the rest of my life. But you can see that he is very protective of Marie here and just exudes sister complex. So Marie finally stops him from torturing Asta, and this is the part that I really like, and I've written a lot of threads about this, maybe not a lot, but at least 2 or 3, really detailing this relationship and just going over this at somewhat a deeper level without going crazy into this, is that this is realistically a Medusa and Perseus relationship that Tabata has twisted. Instead of a rivalry, it is a sibling relationship where they love each other very much. So the thing with Perseus and Medusa in the lore is that Medusa and Perseus are engaged in battle. In order to defeat Medusa, who has a gaze which turns people to stone, Perseus brings with him a shield that he uses as a mirror to reflect the gaze of Medusa to set herself to stone. And that's how he defeats her. Then he decapitates her and uses her gaze as a weapon to other Gorgons and other monsters that he then encounters on the rest of his journey. But here, Marie's gaze is very similar to Medusa's gaze. Now, they don't actually turn anyone to stone, but they do paralyze people. And Gauche, of course, has his mirror eye. So I always thought this relationship was really cool, and I like what Tabata did with it. So again, this Perseus-Medusa relationship with that sibling twist on it was very, very cool to me. Towards the end, you know, you get a lot of just like back and forth. I wasn't super into this chapter because this is coming off a lot of slow chapters, like when Asta meets Rachel and her siblings for the first time. I wasn't really into those. You know, it's a battle shonen, so I like it for what it is, which is a battle shonen. But we start getting more into this arc where the orphans get kidnapped, and Gauche attacks Asta while he's sleeping. They end up outside, and it's snowing, and it's nowhere near the season where it should be snowing, which is the first thing Asta notices here. And they find out that all the orphans are gone. So this is about the end of the chapter. But again, really like this for just like those subtle things that Tabata does to keep nerds like me kind of interested, where I need some kind of lore drop to really look into it and to see what his vision is, how he's writing this, and where he's pulling references from. So everything from that potential Ares or Roman god of war reference with the Black Rooster to just the darker aspect of being a magic knight, where it's not fully elaborated on, but you can kind of get where he's going with it without getting super graphic. And the Perseus-Medusa relationship I love, and what tops the whole chapter is Asta calling Gauche Mr. Gonzalez when they first meet. So yeah, this chapter is cool. I hope you guys tune in for the next Random Clover. Hopefully you guys like this. Maybe I will do a lot more, maybe I won't. We'll see how this goes. But thank you for tuning in. It's been Jack Goes to Go. You either know or you don't.